So today is Lhabab Duchen. And what that means is the day that the Buddha descended from the god realms after teaching his mother and the other gods there to become awakened. So this is what happened, basically. Okay. Buddha was born. Yay! 6 days later, his mother died. Aww. But then he went out and he started teaching and he became the Buddha. Yay! When the Buddha was 41 years old, he looked around and said, oh, look at those people in the God realm of the 33. My mother's there. They're not going to become awakened because the God realm of the 33 is in a desire realm. So he said, I'm going to go and teach those people. So he went up there and he taught them for 3 months. Meanwhile, his disciples down on the earth said, hey, come on back, please, come back. And he thought about it and he said, oh, maybe. So his disciple Mogliana went up there, and him and the Buddha had a debate. And wouldn't you like to be a fly on the wall of that? And so the Buddha decided, okay, yeah, I'll go back down. So what they did, the gods of the God realm, they chose a god named Vishvakarma. He's the god of machines, and they built a ladder for him. It was made of beryl, gold, and silver. Beryl is a type of precious mineral. An emerald is a beryl. So this is a wonderful ladder. And so he decided, he came down. He had Indra on this side, Brahma on this side, or Brahma on this side, and Indra on this side, whichever you prefer. And he went down the ladder. And finally, he made it back to Earth. So everybody's there, yay! Lots of disciples. They were pretty cool. There was one person, she was a nun. Her name was Utpala. She decided, I'm going to be first to greet him. But she looked around, this is an impossible task because, let's face it, a woman being in the front with all these kings and princesses coming down to meet Buddha. But she wished really hard, and she worked at it. And she made a vow. And due to the force of that conviction, she was transformed into an empress with all kinds of troops and all kinds of treasures and everything. And she actually made it to the front of this crowd. And she was the first one who greeted the Buddha when he came down. And the Buddha said, hey, that's pretty cool. You've done good. You're going to be awakened. Now imagine being told that you're going to be awakened from the Buddha himself. Isn't that cool? So that's what Lhabab Duchen is all about. And because of that, because he came back to Earth, anything you do today is going to be multiplied 10 million times. So if you do a good deed today, it's going to be multiplied 10 million times. So there's a lot of good Dharma teachings in this Lhabab Duchen Day. And the first is the gift of a qualified teacher. We all have, the Buddha is about as qualified as he gets, and he gave us this gift so that we could become awakened for the benefit of all sentient beings. And the second one is repaying the kindness of your parents. Now, they worked very, very hard most of the time to get you to where you are today, to give you everything in your power that you need to live and grow. And then, of course, the Buddha gave us the Dharma for the rest of us lowly, suffering human beings that are trapped in this ridiculous time that we call a life. He came back to teach us so that we can become awakened, so we can get out of the suffering. And what about Utpala? Her faith in the love, the compassion, the wisdom of the Buddha gave her the ability to change her circumstances so that she attained her heart's desire, which is to be the first to welcome back the Buddha. And then, of course, there's the multiplication of today's karma. One of the characteristics of karma is that from a small thing, great things grow. Now multiply that by 10 million times today. So just imagine that you walk into a room someplace, and it's a restroom or a coffee shop. It doesn't matter where. In here, it could be any place. And there's a little sticky there that says, you are beautiful. Now, what are you going to do? Most people would go, yeah, that's cool. And, it just brightens their day a little bit. But some people can take that and it just makes a really, really deep impression and just explodes and says, all right. Okay, so there was once upon a time, this is a true story, there was a girl named Anne Frank. I don't know if y'all most of you people should know her. She was a young girl living in Amsterdam during the Second World War. Since she was Jewish, her parents and her family had to go into hiding from the Nazis. And she spent 2 years behind this wall, and she wrote. She wrote down her thoughts and everything. Eventually, the Nazis found them, sent her and her family to a concentration camp, and she died. But that journal was published not 2 or 3 years later, and since then it has become awesome. So I'm going to quote you some of the things that Anne Frank said. She said, "How lovely that everyone, great and small, can make a contribution towards introducing justice straight away. And you can always, always give something, even if it's only kindness." And she also said, "How wonderful it is that nobody need wait a single moment before starting to improve the world." So these are gifts that she gave to the world. So that's what you can do today. Think of all the merit you can accumulate by doing good deeds and being kind. And on top of that, you get a really, really good feeling when you do something by doing these good deeds. So do something kind today. It's Lhabab Duchen.